From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, March 12th, 2015. Silver is trading at $15.57 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,157 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $294. Antiwar.com reports the unprecedented effort by Senate Republicans to sabotage ongoing U.S.-Iran relations with a letter earlier this week in which they openly warned Iran of their intentions to dishonor any agreements President Obama made was a lighthearted jest, according to Republican aides. One aide complained after reports that the letter was likely a felony offense and could amount to treason. Quote, "The administration has no sense of humor," end quote. Republican non-signatories to the letter are now saying it was a bad idea, while the signatories are trying to reframe it as a goof, apparently done as some sort of weird form of performance art. Secretary of State John Kerry yesterday reiterated that despite the letter, Congress does not have a constitutional right to change diplomatic agreements that have already been signed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu seemed to be trying to claim credit for the letter by contrast, suggesting his recent congressional speech fueled the letter in defiance of diplomacy he opposes. For over 35 years, Roberts & Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Ferguson, Missouri Police Chief Thomas Jackson turned in his resignation Wednesday, just days after a scathing Justice Department report criticized the department for racial discrimination. Jackson is the third top official in the city to resign since the DOJ report. Lieutenant Colonel Al Eckhoff will become acting chief of the police department while the city launches a nationwide search for a new chief. Ferguson Mayor James Knowles told reporters Jackson resigned because he is an honorable man. City Manager John Shaw, the city's most powerful official, quit his post late Tuesday. The DOJ report blamed him for overseeing the city's financially driven policies, which led to widespread corruption. In a page-long resignation letter, which the city called a mutual separation agreement, he offered a staunch defense to the DOJ findings, writing, "While I certainly respect the work that the DOJ recently performed in their investigation and the report on the city of Ferguson, I must state clearly that my office has never instructed the police department to target African Americans, nor falsify charges to administer fines, nor heap abuses on the backs of the poor. Any inferences of that kind from the report are simply false." The report said Shaw played a major role in the financially driven police and court system that was used to bolster the city's coffers. One email shows Shaw congratulating the police and courts for great work, as he was told there was a long line of people waiting to pay fines. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Reuters reports a Johnson & Johnson subsidiary pled guilty on Tuesday to selling liquid medication contaminated with metal and agreed to pay $25 million to resolve the case. The subsidiary, McNeil Consumer Healthcare, pled guilty to one federal criminal charge in the case. In 2010, the company launched mass recalls of certain children's over-the-counter medicines, including infants' Tylenol and children's Motrin, made from its Fort Washington, Pennsylvania plant. It was the latest in a series of recalls at the time. There were far-reaching multiple recalls from 2008 to 2010 involving hundreds of millions of bottles and packages of consumer brands such as Tylenol, Motrin, Rolaids, Benadryl, and other products due to faulty manufacturing. The recalls kept widely used products such as children's Tylenol off pharmacy shelves and seriously tarnished Johnson & Johnson's once sterling reputation. In the case involving metal particles, the troubles began in May 2009 when a consumer complained after noticing black specks in the bottom of a bottle of infant's Tylenol. The specks were found to be nickel and chromium particles. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.